I never really thought of myself as a tattoo guy. Putting the needle to my skin was never part of the plan. But the more I thought about them, the more I saw them, and the more I noticed who had them. People like me.
I'll take my pants off. I'm not going to take my shoes off.
That's when I met Badr Israel.
I found tattoo about 7 years ago. Touching people's skin is like sponge, it's like soft, it's alive. I think now you see people more younger are getting tattooed.
The numbers don't lie. According to the Pew Research Center, more than a third of Generation Y, a whopping 38%, has at least one tattoo. Compare that to 32% of Gen X, and only 15% of baby boomers. And 18% of Gen Y who have a tattoo have 6 or more. Somehow, Gen Y had become Gen Inc. Was I missing something? My peers seemed to think so.
The day and age we live in now, everyone's tatted up.
Holton Desprez and Jaleel Riley are two of Badr's customers. They came with Holton's cousin Timmy to finish up their latest pieces.
To me, it's art. I like to show off art.
Maybe, but would my future bosses see it that way?
Where I work, we gotta like cover up our tattoos like a lot. People don't believe like tattoos are professional.
You can have tattoos and work in a corporate office, it doesn't change you. If everyone had tattoos and every company's like, oh, you can't have tattoos, I guess you won't have people working for you and your company will just fail in a way.
The taboo of getting a tattoo, I think, is changing. I've been tattooing lawyers, I've been tattooing doctors. Anybody can get a tattoo.
Lawyers? Doctors? Journalism students, maybe? Growing up, tattoos were the stuff of badasses and rock stars, not 9-to-5ers, and definitely not buttoned-up lawyers.
You know, when I first started in law, I didn't know any other lawyers with tattoos.
Marisa Kukulis is a public interest lawyer in Brooklyn. She also runs a blog called Needles and Sins.
I was really afraid that people wouldn't think that I could fully go to bat for a corporate client if I was a freak. I stopped here, and then I said, I don't know if I can go further down with my career.
Now, she says, tattoos are becoming commonplace in her line of work.
Unless I'm in court or meeting with a client, I can actually go to work bearing arms.
Not that long ago, it was risky to flaunt your ink. In fact, Kukulis' earliest tattoos weren't even legal. That was part of the thrill.
I went to the East Village, kind of knocked on the door. They asked, who do you know? There was a sexiness to it.
Tattoos were banned in New York from 1961 until 1997. That means no storefronts, no advertising.
Not like today. The spread of hepatitis B and AIDS, I would have never gone under the needle back then. Then again, I wasn't alive, so I guess I didn't really have a choice.
Inked Magazine's Rocky Rakovic says you had to get your hands a little dirty to get your arm tattooed.
Tattooing underground in New York pre-1997 was pretty scary. Much like gambling or prostitution, they were sort of lumped in with illegal activities that were happening in back rooms.
Everything that used to be secret is no longer secret.
In the mid-'80s, Clayton Patterson co-founded the Tattoo Society of New York to overturn the ban. Since then, he's witnessed tattooing turn into a $2.3 billion industry.
What happened is art schools became really sort of big commodities. All of these artists then started realizing that you could get involved in making tattoos, and then every drawing you made, you sold. The other big change was the change in the machinery. You don't have to make your own needles because you can just buy the needles, you can buy the ink. You don't have to do anything almost.
That's when tattoos hit the big time.
My name is Ami James, and I'm a tattoo artist. Welcome to Miami Ink.
Gen Y grew up on TV shows like Miami Ink and Ink Master, which brought the parlor directly into their living rooms.
You could watch and see, oh, this is what goes on there. It's not that creepy. It's not that crazy. There's normal people getting tattoos.
You have a generation that has more accessibility. Tattoo shops are everywhere. And you have a generation in which their parents are not kicking them out of the house because they got a tattoo.
Better artists, better equipment, less stigma. But was I ready to take my rightful place in this tattooed generation? I needed some personal reassurance.
Tattoos can give you your self-identity, they can give you a feeling of having control over your own body, and sometimes it's the only control you have.
I'd actually look forward to being this old lady and kind of like looking back and reading my body in a way and remembering some incredible experiences.
Well, looks like I'm about to get tattooed.
That's it?
Yep.
That's not bad.
Oh, you see, you're already addicted.
Maybe I had become addicted. Or maybe I was just a product of my times.
I think in this digital age where people don't have attention spans for more than a few seconds, tattooing is something very permanent.
I mean, I think that's just our culture in general, that if you don't put your hand up, if you don't stand out, then you're going to disappear.
Not necessarily. The ink's disappearing too. Tattoo removals are now a $66 million industry. Maybe this once outlawed art just isn't that sacred anymore.
Tattooing used to have a lot of sort of social presence. Oh my God, did you see that guy? He's got tattoos. Ooh. Now it's like, oh, okay, you got a tattoo, who cares?
And why should we care? We connected the world with Ethernet cables. We toppled dictators with our smartphones. We stared down economic collapse, and 88% of us are still optimistic about the future. We're just a generation comfortable in our own skin, whether it's inked or not.